I'm Bhargavi, biology and science tutor in Eclassopedia. Today we are going to discuss about weathering, erosion and deposition. First, let us have a look at these beautiful pictures over here. Then we can start. They are so beautiful, isn't it? But how they formed on the earth? How much time does it take to form these landforms on the earth? Why these changes occur on the earth's surface over a time? The reason is weathering. Weathering. What is weathering? Weathering is nothing but breaking off rocks into small pieces. It takes thousands of years to weather a rock into small pieces. It's not so simple process. With the help of some agents, rock will break into small pieces. Let us discuss in detail about the agents and the processes of weathering. There are two processes. One is mechanical weathering and chemical weathering. Let us discuss in detail about mechanical weathering. Mechanical weathering is nothing but breaking off rock into small pieces with the help of physical forces. Physical forces applied by heat, water, ice, temperature. In mechanical weathering, the sediments nothing but the rock will break into small pieces. The pieces are called sediments. In mechanical weathering, there won't be change in the chemical composition of the sediments. But in chemical weathering, there will be change in the chemical composition. But in mechanical weather, there won't be change in the chemical composition. They just change their appearance. Now, let us take some examples. First one is ice. How ice will break the rock into small pieces. See, let us think now it's raining. When there is raining, the rainwater can enter into the cracks of the rock, isn't it? Once they enter into the cracks during night times, because of cool weather, the water inside the cracks, they can freeze. They can convert into ice because of cool weather. Once they convert into ice, they take extra volume compared to the water. They take extra 9% of volume when compared to the liquid form of water. When they expand, when the ice expands, it makes the crack bigger. It creates some pressure on the both sides and makes the crack bigger. Again, during daytime, they just melt and enter into the small cracks further. During nighttime, they again convert into ice, expand, and make the small cracks into bigger ones. In this way, with continuous conversion of ice, water, during daytime and nighttime, the cracks will eventually become bigger and make the rock into small pieces. This is how the ice makes the rock convert into small pieces. Now let us take one more example, glacier. What is glacier? You might have heard about the word glacier, isn't it? Yeah. Glacier is the huge mass of ice. You can see how big it is. Here we can see one person. When compared to this person, the glacier is very big. So this big glacier, when it moves across the land, it can break the small landforms. It can even break the rock into small pieces in their path. And another example is exfoliation. When the rocks are exposed to high temperatures during summers, especially during summers, and eventually when they expose it to cool temperatures during winter, even in the daytime, even in a single day when they are exposed to high temperatures during afternoons and when they are exposed to low temperatures during nighttime, there will be fluctuations in the temperature, cool temperature and hot temperature. There is a lot of fluctuations in the temperature. So because of these temperature fluctuations, the rocks are being expanded and contracted, expanded and contracted. When the rock exposed to high temperatures, they tend to expand. When they expand, the inner material of the rock, it creates pressure on the outer layer. It creates some pressure on the outer layer. Because of this pressure from the inside, the outer layer will tend to break and exfoliate in the form of thin layers eventually over a time. These are the images showing cracks in the rocks due to continuous exposure of rocks to sunlight or fire. And another example is biological weathering. Bio means living. So the living things like animals and trees breaks the rock into small pieces. You might have seen the trees living on the rocks, trees living on the mountains. These trees, they spread their roots into the small cracks. When these small roots, when they grow and expand, they make the crack bigger and bigger. Eventually, after some period of time, there will be big crack and the rock will break into small pieces. Same with the case of animals as well. These animals, while they are burrowing, they take the seeds and grains to eat, and they drop or they hide some grains in the burrows for future purpose. These seeds, when they germinate, the roots of the plant will enter into the rock, and eventually the root grows, makes the crack bigger. In this way, the burrowing animals as well help in weathering. And the last one is wind. The strong wind is able to carry away the sand particles. When these sand particles collide with the rock will break into small pieces after some period of time. Some period means it takes thousands of years. So these are the examples of mechanical weathering. Now let us see chemical weathering. As we already discussed, chemical weathering actually makes the difference in the chemical composition of the rock. And one of the example is rain with acids in it. These acids can dissolve or digest the rock. See, when there is rain, the rainwater can react with the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere and forms the weak acid called carbonic acid. When this carbonic acid reaches the Earth's surface, these carbonic acid can enter into the cracks of the rock. Eventually, these acids, you know the strength of acid, isn't it? They are very, very strong. So these weak acids can digest the mineral present in the rock. Over a time, it makes the rock into small pieces. This is about weathering. Now, let us discuss about erosion. What is erosion? Erosion is nothing but transport of these weathered sediments from one place to other. It's nothing but transportation. So the agents which are helping in erosion are wind and water. Wind and water. Now let us discuss about wind erosion. As we discussed earlier, the strong winds have lots of energy and they can carry the sand particles. They can carry the small sediments along with them. And they take, transport, and deposit somewhere else. When they lose energy, they deposit at that place. And now coming to the erosion by water. The flowing water, the moving water is having lots of energy, especially the rainfall, flood, flowing water in the rivers, and runoff water. This moving water, it picks up the loose material like sediments and transport with them. Whenever they lose energy, they just deposit at the place. So erosion is nothing but transportation. Yes. So the moving water in the rivers, rain, floods, runoff water, they can carry the sediment and deposit at some place when they lose their energy. Then what is deposition? Deposition is nothing but settling of the sediment at one place. After erosion, after being eroded, the weathered sediment will deposit at some point of time at some place. This settling of sediments is called deposition. And agents helping deposition are water and wind. The flowing water, yes, you can see, yes, deposition. You can see this image. This river flowing downstream into this ocean is carrying lots of sediments with it. Whenever this water moves and combines with the ocean, the flowing water from the river, it loses its energy and makes the sediments deposit at one place at entry point. So this is how the flowing water will deposit the sediments when they meet the ocean. Then wind. The strong winds can carry out the sand particles with it and settle, deposit at some place when they lose energy. Especially the sand dunes are formed because of windstorms. This is about deposition. So weathering is nothing but breaking of rock, it is transportation of rock, and deposition is settling of sediment. Understand? I repeat, weathering is breaking of rocks into small pieces. Erosion is transportation of that small rock pieces called sediment, and deposition is settling of that sediment. I hope you understand what is weathering, erosion, and deposition. If you like, please like, share, and subscribe this video. If you are really interested, feel free to contact our team, and the mobile number is 9821373362. You can feel free to contact our team and enroll yourself. And openings are there for registering this course. And even you can register through the website www.eclassopedia.com. Thank you and all the best.